All right, so I'll continue. So I used, so what was I say? I used that coding language that I created, that specific coding that I created, and I used this thing that I call the Bible, which was like a book that I mentally created. Yes, a lot of the coding was created mentally too, and the reason was that I didn't want to put anything in paper, and I wanted to keep it for me. Okay, and I'm talking about it because it doesn't matter. It's useless. It's not. I'm done with it now. There's nothing more to code. I had a Bible that I created. I called it the Bible, but it had certain things in there, and then I used my coding language to complete the codes. And I had to enter the codes and I had to complete them. Okay, so I completed all the codes. By the end of November, I was done. End of November last year, I was done with all my codes. The following weeks, I'm not gonna say how, but in the following weeks, I finally opened that shell. I finally learned to join. I learned how to join society. I've been trying forever. I finally learned how to join society. I finally started growing. And that was all possible because of all of that happened starting from the years back. You know what I mean? Had I not even been in such a fucked up situation in 2019 and prior to that, I would have never hooked up. I would have never met that individual. Where that individual is now, I have no idea, honestly, where he is. But the thing is that benefited me to that extent. Just fucking with him and having his influence, and then him leaving after a couple of months. I think it was like 4 or 5 months after he left that I started. I just started with calculations. I started with just crazy calculations, like crazy, just numbers and all this stuff. It was crazy. Then I took those ramen noodle boxes and I was just going through them, taking pictures and codes and I won't say anymore. But that's what I did. Now I have a responsibility to talk about it a little bit. So I figured I'd talk about it a little bit. But there are other things too that I learned. And I just everything I learned, I put it together. But the moment I got out of that shell, I knew that I was gonna be successful for sure. Before I knew that I was in the shadow world, I was stuck at level 1, but I knew I could be successful. I knew that it was a matter of time, but I would have to put a crazy load of work in because I was at level 1 always, and I was incapable of growth. At the point of being capable of growth again, being out of that situation that I thought I'd never be out of, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I can breathe again. Eventually, I'll become successful. But why wait for eventually when I can do everything I can do in my power right now to put in the work and to get me as ahead as possible? Because I spent 31 years at level 1. I need that extra quick boost in order to put me ahead and put me at a decent enough spot that I can relax and not work. And that's why I'm just doing videos now. So rather than do all that stuff, I can do videos. I can kind of just have some fun with media and stuff. And that's it. That's all I want to do. But I've already put in all that work. You might think that, oh, well, this guy has no idea who I am or what I do. Is it possible that, well, you might even think, hey, I think he did do a connection. How did he do it? Or what was he trying to do? And I'll tell you that either I was trying to, I won't go into it, but I wasn't, I may have made contacts separately, you know what I mean? I may have looked and searched and been like, okay, I'm going to try to connect here, for example. You know what I mean? And I did whatever I did. Now, I'm not going to go through any of that ever again in my life. Oh, not ever again. I'm never going to go through with other stuff, but I felt the responsibility to talk about how I started. I don't think it's a big deal. I created a coding language that's applicable only to myself and my life, which will do F all for anybody else, right? So I might as well talk about it. I made a Bible that I haven't told anybody what was the content of the Bible and that I kept mentally in my head. I haven't told anybody about the Bible. I haven't told anybody about the Bible. Okay. Maybe some of the pictures I drew, somebody looked at them before throwing them in the garbage or whatever. But I've not told anybody what's in the Bible. And I just told you what's in the coding language is totally useless because it's only for me anyways. But that's what led me to that. And then at that point, I knew I was going to be successful, but why wait years when I can get ahead by just, I was relentless. I gotta work, not waste any time. Now I'm starting to relax, but I'm also relaxing because that's part of life. As a human being, sometimes in order to be successful, you gotta relax sometimes. You can't work all the time. You gotta have time when you relax, where you talk, post videos on media, whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? You got to have that in order to maintain and keep your success. You got to have some sanity as well, and sanity is done through not working all the time. So that's my deal. I like yeah. So it's not necessary that I just go, okay, I gotta make a contact here. Like, no, it's not. It doesn't work like that. But it's sort of like, and that was after I started my growth, by the way. That was after I got out of that shell. Okay, so I finally got into me, and I could do what I do, be myself, and live to my potential. And I started doing that right away. But I used some of the past coding that I learned. I used some of my experiences in order to make that happen. But what was I was trying to get to something, and I felt like explaining. I was trying to get to, and what I was trying to get to was that it's not like, I'll just make a connection anywhere. Boom, done. I am the coding master. No, it's nothing like that. It's kind of like my own experiences, my own life, and my own experiences, and things that I was good at, or things that I had experienced it, and then kind of gauging myself and being like, how can I, before I even make content, I'm not even gonna get into that, but before I even make a connection, or before I don't do it anymore, but I did my stuff, I'm done with it. But prior to finding or establishing a connection, there's a lot of work that goes behind it. Within that area of life, or that area of business, or whatever it is, it goes a lot of work behind it. And then it takes quite a long time, but it may take months and months, but then connections start beginning to get made. You know what I mean? And sometimes the connections are based off things that have existed way in the past. Maybe things I was fucking with in my past, and there was some kind, but it's too complex for even me to understand. I did it, I'm done with it, I don't care, I've already forgot. I don't think I can even code like that anymore. I can't code like that anymore. I either way, I can't code like that anymore. Like that was something that I was in practice and doing well. I haven't done it in a long time, but all my work is done. That's the point. Everything I had to do was done. Now I want life. Like, I want life. I want fresh air. I want the world. I want to go hang out outside. I want to meet people. I want to have a good time. I want to do some kind of business. I want to set goals. I want to make money. I want to impress in some kind of business, like a restaurant or hospitality business. You know what I mean? Now it's about going into life and living life. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not anxious, and I'm not trying to make it faster, but it would be good to get in a decent time. That's kind of my expectation. That what I'm trying to do, what I'm looking at. I think I explained enough. Now this is the thing. I don't want to keep coming back and explain. I'm not going to keep coming back and explaining anymore. I want to leave it at one point and leave it behind there. But everything had some kind of relevancy to it. It had to be something that, I think I've already explained. Everything had a relevancy. Everything had a lot of work put in way before, way ahead of time. What else is there? Yeah, that's it. But I also learned things. You know what I mean? It's not, I may have spent time 15 years ago learning about something and doing very well in something that I later on kind of implemented, and then did a bunch of things. And then eventually the last thing to come out of that would be a connection. And it would also be a bit of an understanding of what may be going on around that area, and that's it. And I've told you 100 is too low of a number for the amount of connections. And I think it has been confirmed. I'm pretty sure, maybe it hasn't been confirmed in other cities, but it definitely is locally. It would be nice if there's a city out there that feels like they're fucking with me, put it out there, man. If you're trying to market yourself, just put it out there. And if you genuinely are, maybe put it out there, throw it out there, and be welcoming. Don't be, that's all I gotta say. Be welcoming, but if you really want to throw it out there for your own purpose or your own benefit, for example, like marketing, as a city, just as a city. As a city, I know if it was Vegas, if it was Dubai, if it was whatever it was, if you throw it out there, it make yourself look good, make myself look good, get that get whatever you want from it, from putting that out there, and then just then you can just go back to whatever you're doing, and that'll be nice for me. It'll be nice for you, for the city. Put me at a bit of an international level. You don't have to, by the way. There might be a lot of stuff that goes into creating that kind of decision. Maybe you just throw a hint out there. It'd be nice to get that international recognition. Once I'm at that international recognition, it doesn't really matter. Just like getting that multi-millionaire accolade, and then it's like, okay, I gotta move on. But all right, I am done. And good evening, by the way. As you know, I'm stuck in here, so I do have the time. So why not make use of it? Why not catch up on this? And then hopefully, maybe later on, maybe kind of take a little break from this.